right. So, for those of you who aren't aware, my name is Julio Brionnes. I'm just want to reintroduce myself. Today is Monday, December 30th, 2024. So, if you're watching this live, we have a new year coming up. And if you're watching the replay on this, Happy New Year to you. I hope you all are doing well and are able to, are getting your business up to where it is. So, you know, throughout the year, we get a lot of questions either on this platform, on LinkedIn, or through email, or and just dealing with our clients on a day to day. And we what we want to talk about today is one of our more common questions, and that is, how do I set up services specifically for clients? Like, so basically, this is based on what the question is. People ask me all the time, how is it that they can go and understand what the need is in the community in order to develop service packages that are appropriate to meet those needs. All right. So it doesn't matter if you're a brand new agency and you're just starting out, or if you are, one of those growing agencies in that 1 to 3 million mark, or if you're trying to, grow a little bit faster or heading into the multi units, or you're one of those top, 0.5% performers doing that 20 to 30 million annual revenue with multiple agencies. The question is always going to come up because we all know the truth and the reality of home care. And that is that in order for you to service your clients, people have to be old enough, sick enough, and have an ability to pay. Now, that's irrelevant whether you are doing Medicaid or private pay or doing some other payer source. You still need to meet those three criteria. If you're doing senior care, old enough usually means 72 and older. It may be a little bit younger if you're working in the Medicaid space, because Medicaid, the rules and the dynamics are a little bit different. Or it may be a little bit older depending on where your specific market is. So that one is a pretty much a given. So anyone, I like to use the number 72 because I know a lot of 65-year-olds that would just laugh and probably be offended a little bit if I ever told them that they needed home care at age 65. All right. So the next part is, sick enough. And that's the one where we have to understand what it is. Sick does not mean physically ill all the time. Okay. Sick can also mean recovering from a surgery. It could mean having some sort of traumatic brain injury or some other injury that, that will preclude or require some sort of extra assistance. When I say sick enough, we can also potentially mean that we are, you know, that we are looking at it from the potential or from the place of maybe that person just can't be by themselves and it's for peace of mind. So there's a number of things that fall under that category, but especially when we're talking about the private pay space, sick enough typically means we want people with complex needs. All right. So I hope that clears it up and I hope that makes it a little bit more palatable for the purpose of this conversation. So old enough, sick enough, able to pay. The able to pay part is relatively simple, and we can actually get into um, a more in-depth conversation with what we mean by able to pay, in the sense of what are the different payer sources and everything else. But for the purpose of this specific conversation and this particular video, we're going to focus in on how do we find out what's going on in our community, what needs aren't being met, how can we develop a proper service offering. Okay. And then I'm also, as a bonus, um, we're going to talk a little bit about how we can um, figure out what the you know um, how to market it. I'm so sorry. I just had a moment there. Had my own senior moment. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So, a couple of housekeeping stuff before we get going. If you're watching this on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, helps the algorithm, and it lets me know that these videos you're finding some sort of value in them, and that as a result, it inspires me to do more. That is on my agenda for this year. I want to be able to put out more content, and I want to get a better idea as to what specifically you guys want to watch. So leave a comment in below. Let us know what you're watching, what your interest in watching is. If you're watching this live on Facebook, same thing. Just post something to the leave a comment below in the comment section. And this way I know what information you guys are looking for specifically. If time permitting, I don't normally my videos can be a little bit long, and I'm not trying to drag this out any longer than I need to. So, if I have time, I will answer a couple of questions that have been emailed to me in the recent days, and we're going on. Also, the next point, if you are watching this live or right around the end of the year, please keep in mind, Home Care Owners Corner, we are running a sale that ends tomorrow at midnight. It's you can save 40% off on all these subscriptions. All right, so let's go ahead and get started on this now that we've done the obligatory stuff and gotten all that out of the way. And once again, Happy New Year to everybody who's watching this, regardless of when you're seeing it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to go and take a look over at the American Hospital Directory. That is ahd.com. Okay, and we are going to go into free state and national stats. So this again, this is how we are going to figure out, what conditions we should be targeting when it comes to providing care or trying to figure out how our messaging should be. Now, you know, if if you are, if you're unsure as to what's going on in your area, I mean, you could always just stick with some of the more traditional, but I like to get a better idea as to where we are. Okay. So let's take a look here. Since I am in Indiana, I'm a little bit familiar with this area. We're going to just go down and we're going to start in Indiana. All right. Now, what we are going to look for is specifically um, some of the hospitals that are in the area. And we want to take a look at, for example, the hospitals that we are in the community that service or have a high likelihood of servicing the facilities in our area and our ideal client. So we're going to make the assumption of, we're a private pay agency and we're looking to expand or to better target our people. So let's assume we are in Indiana, just north of Indianapolis, in an area that's got um, a little bit more funding, a little better household income. So one of the ways you can do it, you can do a Google search, or I'm going to go ahead and use my own tool here, and we're going to take a look at the median household income estimator tool that we have in our Home Care Owners Corner platform. All right, and let's take a look here. All right, that is Hamilton County, and let's take a look. All right, so the median household income in Hamilton County is 117,000 957. Okay, so that's pretty good. And we're looking at about 25% of all households in that county, which is about 32,000 households. And we are looking at approximately 8% of the population that's over the age of 75 or 75 and older. And so that means there are potentially in this area 28,000 individuals or around 15,000 households that we could potentially target in Hamilton County, Indiana. So what does this mean for us? That means that these are the zip codes that we want to specifically target that would fall under these numbers. All right. So now that we understand that, that means that we are looking in the right area. So let's take a look at hospitals in Carmel. So here we have, let's do IU Health North. Okay, we are not a robot. Hmm. Let me take a look here. All right. So all right, so here we are. Now, what are we trying to accomplish, or what are we trying to take a look at while examining or analyzing this? All right, so let's go over here. Let's get our handy pointer tool. All right, and now the information we want to specifically focus on is here we have the hospital. We've gone to the free profile. Now, mind you, this particular information, it's ahd.com. You look at the free state profiles. This is available to everybody. Is the information completely current? Mostly. They get their information off of cms.gov. So a lot of this information, while not 100% up to date, it is currently it is current usually within 6 months or so. All right. So here we go. So now we're taking a look here. This is IU Health North. So what is the information we care about? We don't really care about it. I mean, now if you need to know where the address is, knock yourself out. We do know that it is an acute facility. Most hospitals are acute facilities. And we are going to take a look here at what are their clinical services. So we know they have, cardiovascular, emergency, neuroscience, oncology, orthopedic. I mean, you guys can kind of run through it. This is um, normal care. So one of the things that does stick out to me that it does have physical therapy as a rehabilitation service. That's important to know. Another thing that tells me is what is their special care? They have neonatal intensive care. Okay, so if you are an agency that specializes in pediatrics, this may be a great hospital for you to target. Okay, so let's take a look now. Now, this is the part where we're really going to be able to drill down. Okay, so those of you who've seen other videos of mine, I'm a big fan of this website. This is a great research tool for you to get started on. And I have other videos on the YouTube channel that go into a little bit more detail about what this information is. So what we care about when we're specifically looking at this is here. What is the inpatient utilization statistics? These are people that have been admitted. Okay, this number in particular is what we are looking at, this column here, the one that says number Medicare inpatients. Okay, this is very specific information that we are looking for because the Medicare is generally for two categories of people. You have people over the age of 65, and then you have some exceptions, such as high risk pregnancies, sometimes people with developmental disabilities such as autism and things of that nature, they'll receive Medicare. But the vast majority of users of Medicare are people over the age of 65. Okay. Now, now that we understand this, we are looking for we're gonna kind of ignore here just so you could see what this is. This is these are the things that they're looking under the codes for just general medicine. So as you can see, these are not things that we are typically going to be concerned with. It's get yourself familiar with things like this, but now you can get an idea as to what people are going there for. All right. Under general medicine. For our purpose of this particular discussion, we don't really care. Okay. We are not overly concerned when it comes to gynecology right now. Again, unless your agency is specific. Okay. So what we care about are some of the more common things. We want to see what has a higher utilization rates. We see cardiology has high utilization rates. We can tell by looking here under cardiology. Um, and let's see, that's actually a good one. Pulmonology, that's like things like COPD and other respiratory diseases. All right, so this tells me that there's a high utilization there. There's people go there for general surgery. All right, and again, these are Medicare numbers, so we are concerned about that here. All right. Surgery for malignancy combined with oncology. This very low numbers, but there is a potential for cancer patients. So this is what we are looking for. Psychiatry that's and neurology are generally associated. Um, they're not highly associated with or exclusively associated with Alzheimer's and dementia, but you want to see numbers that are up there in that because they are considered neurological disorders. And we are taking a look at what this is. The next thing we are taking a look at is down here is what are these zip codes of origin? So here's the question. Do these zip codes match here? So let's see. 46032 has the highest number of inpatient origin, all right, at 337. So does that match our list? 46032, yes. So now we are seeing that we have high usage going to the neighborhoods that we are specifically looking for. Okay. So hopefully all of this is making sense to you guys, and you can see how this data is going to correlate and tie together. So if we are looking for to build out specialty programs, we already know we have people that are old enough in the area. We now know where they're coming from. All right, these are the zip codes they're mainly coming from for this particular hospital. Then we are going to take a look at what the conditions are. I'm going to go with here just because of the high number. We're going to go with either pulmonology, which would be COPD, or we're going to go with cardiology. And that is what we're going to do. Now we understand this. So our messaging when it comes to this is going to be we are able to care for people with heart conditions, or we are, AMI, CHF, all of the big heart conditions. We are also able to care for people with COPD. We have a deep understanding, and this is all going to make sense here in a minute. And these are the things that we are looking for. Okay. Now, if you are a brand new agency, specialization makes sense, depending on your own professional background. If you are an established agency, somebody who's already in that 2 million and up mark, or even up to a million and higher, and you are specifically in the private pay space, this is what you're going to want to look at. Okay. You're going to want to sit there and run an analysis of your existing client base and see, do you really have a specialization? So let's go with that. If you are using any, I'm not going to mention the specific softwares because I'm not really affiliated with anyone in particular, but most scheduling softwares will allow you to run reports on this stuff. As long as when you are admitting your clients, as long as you're putting in all the care plan information and everything properly, you should be able to go in and take a look and either run the report or take an Excel file. And there's companies like mine that we can run these analysis and tell you based on your own data as to what's going on. But you can take a look through it and say, all right, my company, we specialize in XYZ. All right. So let's assume, all right, that all the stars have aligned and we are dealing with, you know, um, crafting this, and we're working with let's just say anything dealing with the heart. Okay. So now we know what you have a history of. You're going to run the comparison with the hospital and you're going to see if it all correlates or if you need to adjust your messaging in any way. Look, the reality is you're providing home care services. Unless you are some sort of a nurse care management or other care management that you involve this or weave this into your services. Most home care agencies, while they may have a higher volume of clients or they may have additional certifications and training for specific conditions, the reality is that most home care agencies will take care of a wide variety of people. So, depending on how long you've been in business, and please, when you're running your analysis, don't just stop at who your active clients are. Take a look back historically. If you've been around 5, 6, 7, 8 years, take a look historically at what you're seeing as a pattern in your area. It's going to really make all of this combine and make a lot more sense. All right. So once you understand your specific niche or what clients seek you out, you can craft your messaging that way. If you see that you're seeing a wide variety and you want to target this particular hospital, and that's what I'm saying. Now let's take a look. How are we going to bring the message to them? Number one, we run our analysis. We know, hey, listen, we have a good track record of minimizing hospitalization with people that we have worked with that have when clients have COPD or when clients have AMI or congestive heart failure, we have a good track record. We haven't worked with you specifically, but the supporting skilled nursing facilities in the area and other referral partners have sent us clients in the past that have permitted us to do this. Okay. And this is what our track record looks like. And now you can prepare simple report. Another thing that you can do to help manage your thing, and again, there's a lot of ways to research this, but I am specifically going to show you how you can do it using the Home Care Owners Corner platform. Okay, so we would come here back into our AI tools, and we're going to come in and we're going to run a chronic illness and disability study report. Okay, so let's take a look here. We're going to look at heart disease because this is what we're trying to focus on specifically on that particular hospital. Okay, so once again, we are looking at Hamilton County in the state of Indiana. Okay, and we can do this anywhere, it doesn't really make a difference. I'm just using this as a specific example, all right, for the purpose of this exercise, all right? So here we are. Now we're going to hit submit. And please bear with me, people. Thank you all for watching, but this is a newer platform and AI, it does a great job, but some of the tools are still training, so I may have to run this report more than once. But we'll take a look here and see what happens. Um, all of these tools that we have built are proprietary to us. All right, and we can take a look here for a number of these. We have, there's a number of different heart conditions we can run this for, just for the purpose of our example that we're working at with that particular hospital. We're going to use heart disease. We may run coronary artery bypass. Let me take a look here. All right, so this is what we are looking at. So based on what we know from, once again, from here, from the research that we have pulled from our own numbers, okay, this is where we are going through, and this is what we are looking at. All right, so what we know is um, the prevalence of heart disease in Hamilton County is about 42.2% of the population. All right, so the risk increases with age, so we are looking at men over the age of 65. If you want to get into the ethnicity, Hamilton County has a younger population, which is fine. All right, so now what we are looking at, Indiana ranks 15th in the nation for heart disease mortality. Okay, and the county is lower than the state average, but it's still important to know the state. Okay, so all of this, we're looking at future projections and recommended actions. So the thing about the report that I just ran with our platform here is that it does give you accountability. Here's where the sources of all this data. We did take a lot of time to kind of build this out so people can see it. And now, what do I do with this information? Well, again, if you're a subscriber of Home Care Owners Corner, what we are going to do is we are going to click and we're going to just print this out. Okay. And now we have something that we can use to talk to our salespeople, to talk to to talk to our care coordinators, to be able to talk to our other people that are out there in the field. We can use this to develop a training. We can use this to come in and show potential referral partners how we actually help them, how we are actually prepared, because we now have a clear cut understanding of what the conditions are that they specifically cater to. All right. So, this is what it boils down to. There's a difference between coming in and saying to somebody, hey, if you ever need help with anything, to give me a call, or to be able to come in and say, hey, listen, according to utilization statistics and CMS, you guys see a large number of people for cardiac issues. Okay, you most of your clients are here in the Carmel area, and now we have to understand. What we're going to understand is that we can help you reduce rehospitalization because these are the programs we have in place. We understand the numbers, we have the data, we know what's going on within the county, and historically, since our inception, we have taken care of a large number of clients that have either been to this hospital or have discharged or been to another hospital but work with partner facilities that you have, right? And now this is where we are developing our service packages. So what you can do is at this point, once you have this information, is you can come up with a structure that will allow you to develop service packages. Well, we know somebody coming out of the hospital, for example, after a heart attack may or a stroke may need more help than others. So let's say it's somebody who had a stroke because of heart disease. Well, we understand that somebody who's initially recovering from a stroke may need round the clock care. Maybe they have a need because they're going to be in the hospital for a while. Maybe the family needs peace of mind and respite. Maybe you can come up with a hospitalization package. Hey, listen, if you have people who are going to be here for a while, they have loved ones. Maybe they want somebody to be here at night with the patient. We offer hospital sitter program. You know that they understand. Our caregivers are trained to know the signs. They understand they have to be awake. And many falls happen in the hospital overnight. We carry this over into the skilled nursing facility once they go into rehab. And here is our discharge package and plan for them. Now, there's a lot of factors involved in this. So, if you have a nurse on staff, if it's a state requirement, then great, you have one on staff. If it's not a state requirement, take a look at what your service offering is. Can you have a nurse develop a care plan specifically for somebody who's had a stroke? If you cannot, that's not a big deal. Let's come up with the package. What do we understand? We understand that a client coming out of skilled nursing after having had a stroke or a heart attack, they may have been in there for a while. So you may want to have a scale down service, something where you have offered 24 hours care for the first maybe 4 days, 5 days, up to about 2 weeks, depending on the client or the package that you're going to put together, and have it scale down from 24 hours to 16 hours to 12 hours to 8 hours to 4 hours over a 2 week to 30-day period. This could be a prepaid service. This could be a service that can easily translate into long term care because now they've been with your agency for 2 weeks to a month. They've stepped down. They understand the convenience, they understand the true value they're bringing. So they may have needed you just for until they can put family in place, or and they might just end up saying, "Hey, this is something we can do." You can develop wellness programs based around this. Simple things that, hey, we are providing our caregivers for you. Our caregivers are trained in this. So now they're with you, let's say 40 hours a week, 30, 40, 50, 60 hours a week, or even as much as 24/7, which is 168 hours a week. Whatever the condition may be, you may offer the courtesy of a phone call, a wellness check, something that makes your agency a little more high touch. And this is how you would implement specialized services to your agencies, to your agency client. So do the research, take a little bit of time to do this, take a look around, have an understanding as to now that we know what the conditions are. Let's figure out what the feeder hospitals are for, what the feeder which skilled nursing facilities and assisted living facilities are being fed by this hospital, and let's start working this out. What programs can we put in place for these particular independent livings, for the particular assisted livings? How do you help with recovery and transition back into this place? There's a number of ways to look at value adding that you're doing this. In private pay, it is incredibly important. With the rising healthcare, with the rising wages that are bringing up the cost of private pay service, having a value add becomes much more important because you want people with complex conditions. You have to provide complex solutions in order for you them to justify paying your agency, you know, 10, 12, 15, 20, even 30 or $40,000 monthly to take care of their loved one. So, and if you are a Medicaid agency, a lot of these managed care organizations, these MCOs, these MCEs, are looking for value driven care. How is it that you are catering your specific service plan in order to help their clients get the most out of the value? Yes, we understand that there are budgetary constraints. Again, rising wages, nobody's increasing the Medicaid payouts, or they aren't doing it proportionally, but they still it's becoming a more competitive space. More and more agencies are opening up. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry in the US. So more agencies are opening up daily. How do you stand out? What are you doing to show your value to referral partners, to individual families, to MCOs and MCEs, these insurance providers? The VA is becoming a bigger source now of revenue for many agencies. And from my understanding, with the new bills that have recently been passed, the VA is even going to start looking more closely at what is the value the individual providers are bringing. Understand your area, understand what's going on, and you must be able to understand how to properly help your client base. Show them value, show them what's going on, and show them that you understand how to fix it, how to reduce those hospitalization rates, and how to provide more value and more service to your clients. All right. So if let me take a look here if there's any questions right now. Okay, so right as of now, there are not a ton of questions in the group. Again, um it's expected. So I'm going to let the video catch up a little bit, and I'm going to see if anyone anything pops up. Other than that, like I said, those of you who are interested, go to homecareownerscorner.com. We do have the platform subscriptions are on sale. Just use the code SAVE40, and you can actually get 40% off until tomorrow night, which is December 31st, 2024. If you're watching this after the fact, if there's anything going on, please join our email list. Okay. And once you join our email list, we put out specials or things like that periodically. And you know, other than that, if you're watching us in Facebook, leave us a message. Let us know where you're from. YouTube, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys a little bit later. You guys have a great rest of your week, and Happy New Year. We'll talk to you all soon.